Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to do a surgical mask for this pandemic that we're having. So you go in, if for people who have the Cricut, you can go into Cricut Design and you pick the size that you need. So for us, we're going to use small medium. And then you hit make. All right, it's going to prompt you to tell you which how much material you need by the size on the guide. I already did mine here and I already placed it ahead of time. So we're going to turn on the Cricut. I'm gonna move this here. And then we're going to hit continue. Turn on our Cricut, that would work. And you have to switch out your blades to the rotary because you're cutting material. Alexa, stop. Alrighty. So now that that's ready, we're going to come over here and on our screen, we're going to pick cotton on fabric. And it's already Bluetooth on, that's why it's blue. And it's asking me to feed our material. All right, so now it's asking me once again to feed it. So I'm gonna feed it. We have to be careful this does not eat the material. It already did, so I taped it down on the sides in the hopes that it doesn't eat it up. So here we go again. And the reason why that happens is because I already made a few cuts on this, so my mat is not as sticky and I need to buy the adhesive to put on it. So here we go with cutting. Alrighty, let's just look. And because my mat is not as sticky, this is why I am holding it, but it's a very light hold, so you really can't. Alright, so make the next one. So it's really not hurting it by holding it. It's just so it doesn't fold up and make a big ball like it did the first time around. And don't worry about these lines because they're going to be on the inside. You're not going to be able to see those stuff that's written on. Alright, now that the machine has cut it off, I have to go ahead and remove all this tape. And I'm going to show you. Make sure to take it off because you do have to do this 2 more times. For the other 2 pieces. This is the piece for the filter. And as you can see, the tape does make it fray. So you have to be very careful. Okay. If your machine doesn't cut it all the way, you can always go in with scissors or an X-Acto knife and it'll help you cut it. Alrighty. This would be more... it'll be a little bit smoother had I not used tape, but because my mat is not as sticky as it should be, this is what happens. All right, guys, I'm going to go into the next step, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we're going to make one of the inserts. This is for the filter for the pocket. I did go red with that. I'm using this as my outer, so I thought let's throw a splash of blue in the inside, so that'll be my inside. So it prompts you to pick your pattern, which was cotton. I taped it on there, so it's asking me to feed it. And as you can see, I did not cut any perfect anything. It's all over the place. My measurements are crazy, but that's because I did not have good scissors. I have good scissors now, but these were already pre-cut. Alright. Alright, hopefully this is good. Yeah. So, I hope it doesn't, because it's going to cut here, so maybe it'll cut with the blade. Alright, so now it is finished drawing. It is checking to make sure I have the proper blade, which is the rotary, and it's going to give the cut. I didn't show when I cut these, but I'm showing now that it's going to cut this one. All right, guys. So it's prompted me to eject the pattern, and there you go. So it did not cut here, and that's okay, because you're gonna notice what you're gonna stitch. You're gonna stitch along this line, not the outer line. The rest of it gets folded on the inside, but we'll show you that once we get to cutting and stitching. And we're gonna do one more pattern like this, so I won't show you that, but you have to do 3 more of these. Okay. All right, I know on the last clip I said I wasn't gonna show any more cuts, but I am gonna go show the final cuts that I'm gonna do, which is the outer part. When you're cutting on here, if you have a Cricut maker, you want to put your fabric face down, the pretty side down, ugly side up. You want to pick cotton, and then the machine will actually feed it, and then we'll wait for it to let us cut, to prompt us to cut. And we're gonna cut. And I did cut my material a little bit longer than it should, but the machine does tell you by these measurements here how much material you need. So I was a little bit extra, and that's okay with me. And it is a print pattern, so it's kind of hard to see the line. So when you're stitching, you just have to be very careful. Whether you're using a sewing machine or you're doing it by hand, just be careful where you're stitching at. I'm going to be doing mine by hand. Right now, it is checking the tool to make sure we have the rotary once again. And it's going to start the cut. Alrighty. I'm going to do one more cut exactly like this for the opposite side of the cheek. And then I'll show you guys how we get it stitching. Alright, so this will be the last cut. And then I'm going to put everything side by side and show you how it's actually going to lay. And then I'll go to stitching it. Just remember to place your materials properly. Otherwise, you're going to have ink on the side that is going to be visible to the public. Alright, so just tracing the last pattern for me. And it does place a number, so you are aware of which pattern this one is. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but it is there. Here, I'll show you on the blue one because it's the same size as the blue. It'll put a number 1 on there for you. So I'm going to go ahead very quickly and take this off just so I can end this clip here and show you. I can remove that tape later. And show you very quickly how this will look and how you want to stitch it. So as you see, you do need 2 of the same size because this is actually going to, you want it to be thick to protect yourself. Obviously this is not an N95. But it is good enough. So when you stitch this, the first 2 patterns you're going to stitch, the filters you don't put in yet, these will get stitched on their own, like so. And you stitch along here. And then when you open it, it'll be a covering for your face. These here, you do the same thing. You're going to make this stitch here. You'll stitch it along here. You definitely want to stitch it here. But when you're stitching the outsides, the only part you combine all four together is in the middle. Once you get the middle stitched, you open it back up. Obviously, you're going to have this piece looking like this. You want to go ahead and stitch here and here because you want these two to be bonded. All right. I'll show you what that looks like once I get it done. All right. So you go ahead and you stitch your insert. Again, I'm doing it by hand, so it's not perfect. So this will be for the filter. So you're going to stitch that together. And you're also going to stitch your inside and your outside like this. Once you're done stitching it, just this part here, you want to flip it over. As you see, it's forming a mask already. Okay. So you want to flip it like that. You want to put pretty side with the pretty side, and you want to make sure that when you're stitching this together, if I can get it open, if you're stitching this together, it's ugly out, ugly out. And the reason for that is because once we're done stitching along these lines here, you're gonna flip it inside out, and it's gonna look like, all right, I'll show you one that's complete already. It will look like this, where it's stitched. This one's a messed up one, so don't go by that, but you'll have a pocket just like this, like so. All right, here's the real one. so what you would do is once you put it inside out, it's gonna look just like this. So then you would take string or a hair tie like this, although this one's too big. So this is why this is messed up. So we just took a shoestring, you lace it through here, and you stitch this part, which would come like this. You put your shoestring in once you stitch this along, and then you have a mask. And you do have a filter opening, which goes all the way through. And what you want to use is a vacuum cleaner filter. You open it up, and you can cut the piece and put it in there. If you cannot get that because you don't have access to it, all you have to do is go and get paper towels and fold it and put it inside as a temporary filter. And there you go, guys. All right. That's it. Thanks for watching. All right. So I already said I was ending this video, but I do have someone who's going to follow this instructional, so I'm going to go completely through with it. So once you've stitched everything, and yes, I used 2 different colors because I ran out of the blue, but it's okay. It's going on the inside. So this is how you turn it inside out. You be careful you don't rip the stitching if you have jewelry on. You shake it out. And then once you have this here, this is your mask completely done. And you go and straighten everything out. And on this end, you'll just stitch this inward here. And then assuming this was the string I was going to use, this would fold here and then over as your loophole. Okay, so this is going to go inward like so. So you'll have to stitch that there. And then this is just giving you room to flip here to make a fold to be like that. And that's it. The mask is done. I will show pictures, not another clip of a video, but I will show pictures at the ending of what it looks like. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. There you go. All done. Stitched by hand. It took me forever, but I did it. Very easy to do. Anyone can do it by hand, even if you have to cut out a pattern for yourself. Here is the hole for the HEPA filter, right here. Once I get that, but I don't have it now. So for right now, I will use paper towels, fold it up a few times. And on this side as well, there's another hole here. Yeah. So, yeah. There you go, guys. And this is just shoestrings that we had laying around from sneakers and we never got to use it. So why not use that instead of the things that go around your ears? Because if you're wearing this for a very long time and it's behind your ears, you will get irritated by the things wrapped around your ears for a long period of time. So there you go. And I'll show you my first one that I made, which is in the beginning of the video, but there you go. That one belongs to my husband. And same thing. All right. You guys be safe out there. Stay protected. All right. Bye.